What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, the author, back at that ass again. Here's another one. Just wanted to make this video, man. Looked at some of my previous videos, man. I had no idea I had been on here for as long as I've been on here, man. Going on over 2 years, man. I had no idea. It kind of flew by. But the first video I ever made on here was about Steve Harvey's sellout ass. I just got done watching that, man. That was my first video. You guys can check it out if you want. It had this same structure that I have right now, so I thought I'd just pay tribute to, when I first started out making videos on YouTube, so I figure I'll just pretty much keep that same format, man, even though my 2nd year anniversary was like March 8th, so it kind of passed. But funny, I just happened to watch my first video. It was only 5 minutes long, man, but I still find that it was still very entertaining, man. I laid into that coon boom. But and I've been talking about the feminism thing, but I just want to make this video about basically this video is gonna be about, now I'm hitting a blank. I'm starting to catch a blank here. But I do know what I wanted this video to be about. Oh yeah, I know what I want this video to be about. This video is about black women being jealous. Black women being jealous of black men when they decide to date and marry white women. Now, first and foremost, when a lot of brothers do step outside the race, not all brothers go straight to white women. Okay, most races, of men stay with their own women. And most black men, most black men stay with their own women. There's more black men who stay with their women than leave. I repeat that. It's more black women who stay. It's more black men who stay with black women than who leave and decide to go to other races. So for all you confused young black boys who hear your mother talking about black men selling out, most black men stay with black women regardless. And if you look at the statistics, most men end up staying with their same race because of cultural, and I think it's a cultural thing too. And not all white people are from the same culture, and not all black people are from the same culture. But to really get to the point, what I'm saying is that in most cases, when now the only thing that's weird or that's different compared to the paradigm, now we know that most men most people in general end up staying with people that's of their same race, or of their same culture, or who have their same, who share the same political or socioeconomical views tend to stay together. So whites with white, Hispanic, Mexican with Mexican, Puerto Rican with Puerto Rican, so on and etc. But in terms of men who step outside of the race, excuse me, statistics show that black men are more likely to date outside the race than any other group of men. So although most black men do stay with black women, when it comes to comparing men against men, as far as who the men who do actually step outside the race, there's a larger group of black men who step outside the race versus other groups of men. Wonder why. Okay, and those who grew up in the inner city with a single parent mother It's obvious. Um, but here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want to address. Now, in terms of now, every time a black woman sits there and says that a black man is selling out, they say, "Oh, he want to run straight to a white woman." When in a lot of cases, when brothers do end up stepping out, going going to other races, not all brothers end up marrying white women. I repeat, when brothers do step out, not all of them end up going to other white women. So a lot of brothers, I've met brothers. I was in the Navy for 5 years. I met brothers who were married to Filipino women, brothers who were married to Japanese women, brothers who, and a lot of brothers. My cousin, he has a Spanish, a Puerto Rican female. Okay, my boy in the military, he had a biracial female. I was in a, excuse me, I was in a relationship with a biracial female. Okay, so not all brothers run straight to white women. Yes, I have been with white women. A lot of brothers have been with white women, but black women make it seem like if we do hop the fence, quote unquote, or if black men do go to another race, then they automatically want to run to a white woman, and that's not always the case. Now, if a brother does want to go to a white female, I think that's perfectly fine. I know why. So here's the thing, and I'll get to the reason why I feel that black women always want to bring that up and make it seem like brothers are running to white women. I think secretly they're jealous of white women. Some of them. Some black females are. And hence weave and wigs. But here's the thing. Okay, so now in terms of brothers going to uh, white women, let's look at the brothers who are just going to white women. A lot of your black females will say, well, they want a white woman because the black men who run over to white women, they want white women because white women are weak and white women are docile and white women will do anything they say and white women just want the dick and so on and so forth, and they'll do anything to get a black man. Now here's the thing. Now here's the issue I have with that. Now they say that the brothers who do go over to white women go to white women because white women are weak, docile, all of this. So first of all, black women think that a woman who can shut her mouth and not talk all the goddamn time is a weak woman. I disagree. If you look at for those of you who are a bit older and know about the sitcom All in the Family, it was a sitcom with some actors. You had Archie Bunker and Edith Bunker were the two main characters in All in the Family. Archie was kind of like he was the average white rightist on the Trump side of the fence, where he didn't really like any other race. He didn't like blacks, Mexicans. He was racist to a point, and he was more of a elitist, but he didn't come out and he couldn't get too bad because it was a TV sitcom. It was around the same time when the spinoff of The Jeffersons came out. Anyway, my point is Edith Bunker, who stood by his side, I believe she was a very strong woman, even though a weak woman would say, oh, she should have stood up to him. She shouldn't let him talk to her like that. But she realized something that a lot of you women don't realize. She realized that it's more important for the family to stay together. So for the family to stay together, she let the man be the man, and she was feminine. And femininity has been lost within a lot of American women, but especially black American women. I repeat, femininity has been lost in regards to a lot of American women, especially black American women. A lot of brothers are having to go to Brazil just to find a wife. Okay. So here's the point. Okay, to make a long story short, they say that white women are docile. That's why black brothers are going over to them. Now, black women, let me tell you something. Secretly, you are docile as well, black women. You know how and I'm talking to most of the black women in the inner city, and all over too. Now, not every. Now, there's always an exception to every rule. So I'm not saying everyone, but the majority. A lot of you black women, You are docile, but you are docile to who? The thugs. Okay. And now only time you're hard and you're hardcore to hard-working men who work every day, with men that you know won't hit you when you talk shit. And three, men who've been raised to kiss your ass. Men are from single parent families. So men who are work every day, so they don't want to hit you and go to jail because they don't want to lose their job. Two, men who are was raised to kiss your ass. And three, very weak men. Now you go off on them like a pit bull because you know you can get away with it. Thugs, you kiss their ass. Example, I think it was John Singleton. I hope I didn't get the brother's name wrong. He's made a lot of movies. He made Higher Learning, Boys in the Hood, a few other movies. He also made this movie called Baby Boy. Now, for those of you who have seen Baby Boy, I believe the star was Tyrese. Now, in Baby Boy, if you remember that movie, Tyrese's mother, when she thought, I think Tyrese played the character of Bodie or somebody, but he was a young boy who was still living home with his mother while his mother just dated a new boyfriend, and the mother had inherited the home from her mother, and she wanted him to move out, but he was like, well, shit, you ain't moving out. So, but I guess the movie was called Baby Boy because the boy wouldn't move out, and of course they focused on the boy and not her. Anyway. So, my point is, okay, so when it was a part in the movie where she found weed, somebody had planted weed in her garden. Because like a lot of women, they have garden, like especially like older black women. My grandmother kept a garden in the backyard where she grew tomatoes and squash. So this lady had a garden, but somebody had planted weed seeds and was growing weed. So the mother thought it was Tyrese, her son. So she went off on him. But when he said it wasn't him, and then so I think the boyfriend came in and said it was him, she backed down. She ain't say nothing. And then he said, well, Mom, you went off on me when you thought it was me, but now that you know it's that thug that you with, you ain't say shit. And then Tyrese's biggest problem about her dating this guy is because this dude had just done 20 years in prison. Okay, he was a straight up thug, and he was like, Mom, why do you always date thugs? Why don't you date guys who are good? And she said she needs a man who can handle her. Now, black woman, a lot of you are just like this character in this movie. So why do you have to be handled? Meaning what handle? You need to have your ass beat. And then when Tyrese finally moved out, he said, don't be calling me when this nigga start beating your ass. Which she will when he finally goes, when that thug goes upside her head. But my point is, that movie was a reflection of a lot of truth. A lot of you black females, you are putty in these thugs' hands. These dudes that did time in prison and drive-by shootout niggas, you would do whatever they say, and they dicking you down good. You would do whatever they say. You'll follow whatever they do. Some of them be in high-speed chases. Some black females have died in high-speed chases because they was following behind some thug in the car with them. Talking about pull over, and you knew he was crazy. Why you even get in the car with him in the first place? You didn't die behind following these thugs. You only pit bulls to regular guys who got jobs and guys who want to try to look out for themselves and guys who don't really have records. So don't point to these white females and say, oh, black men want to go to white females because they're docile. No, regular black men want to go to the other side of the fence, because if they stay with you, in order to get you in line, they got to go upside your goddamn head, and then you're going to call the police. Okay? So instead of they want to avoid all that, so they step over on the other side of the fence. Because now if a thug go upside your head, you won't call the police. I know my mother was with this dude back in the day when I was a little kid. He was a straight up drunk. Dude couldn't hold his liquor for shit. An ex-Marine. I think he fell down one time, passed out one time in the living room and pissed himself. I mean, this is a 35-year-old man. Couldn't hold his liquor at all. And a lot of times he hold her down, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night, come and see him holding her down, and she'll say, call the police. Man, I just turned around and went back to my room because I was seeing that shit so much every night. So I'm saying to myself, man, I'm not going to risk. And the phone is behind y'all. So I got to run to the phone at 4 years old and try to make it to the phone to save your ass. And he drunk. He might hit me and make me retarded for the rest of my life. And then you turn around and wrestle with him the next night and make up and lay down with him. And then everything's okay again. You know, I don't know how many nights I woke up and saw him pinning her down, and then she stayed with this dude. So y'all, you know, and I think she might have called the police once, but out of all the times he did that shit, so y'all real docile to these thugs. Now, if you treated these thugs the same way that if you treated the same way you treat the thugs, if you treated the regular black men like that, then you probably would be able to keep a man. Because the thugs obviously aren't marrying you. Because I think 70% of black women are without a husband or having kids out of wedlock. So the thugs aren't going to marry you. You know, they don't have any type of background. You know, and granted, you have a lot of wannabe thugs, but some of the wannabe thugs are worse than the thugs because they want to be. So they try extra hard so they can fit over that line, and they never feel like they're thugs, and some of them never will be. But they're even worse. So my thing is this, man. You sitting up here talking about white women are docile. That's why black women. That's why how white women are docile. That's why black men are going to them. It's nothing wrong to see. See, a lot of you females are twisted. You think because a female doesn't always run her mouth, a female doesn't always give that neck rolling attitude, that she's weak. No, being is strength and femininity. I repeat, there's strength in femininity, and femininity will get you a long way. That femininity will go a long way with a man. It will go longer in a relationship than masculinity. When you talk about a female male relationship, and that's what a lot of black females don't get. A lot of these white females can go along and get their way because they know how to be feminine, close their mouth. Now you got a lot of loudmouth white women too. There's loudmouth women in every race. But in the black community, what I don't like in the inner city, it's almost like it's a culture where a lot of black women feel they have to be that way. So we have a lot more, even though we're only 13% of the population, we have a lot more loudmouth women than other races, and it shouldn't be that way. Economically, we're on the bottom. Why should we be the loudest? Shouldn't we be on the low, more secretive? And that's the thing, man. You thinking that women being agreeable is, and the thing is, black women, you were taught to be savage like this, monstrous, loud, obnoxious, fat and loud. Who taught you this? Feminism. What did feminism bring? The welfare system where you didn't have to work. So you sat down and got big, didn't have to work out, and so did your kids. And they taught you to stand up to your man and show him attitude. But white women didn't do the same thing. They told you to do one thing and then they did another thing. And then while you did this and started arguing with your man, she turned around and started dating your man and screwing his brains out. First chance she got. So in a lot of ways, yeah, you were tricked out of your man. I know some of you won't even understand that, won't even get that. But it started in the 60s where you were tricked out of your man. You know how many pretty white females you can meet them in college or in the Navy. A brother can meet a pretty white female, and he don't have to say much at all, and just like that, she wants to lay down with him, and he can have her just like that, and she can. He may not even have that much money. She'll provide. And I know a lot of you black females like to think when brothers do get a white female, they have to get a fat one, but that's not always the case because I've seen plenty of brothers. I've been with a lot of white females, and only one I remember that you can consider to be big, and she was even real cool. She had a cool attitude, but the rest of them, you could have put them in movies, man. I have to do half as much work as I have to do with the average black female, having to have this certain look, having to have this certain shoe, having to have this car just to be able to get with you, and you broke with bad credit. Black females on average got worse credit than black men. And I see that at work every day. A lot of them don't even have $20 on the card to get cable. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I just definitely I had to address that, man. Where they come out there and they say things of that nature. It's like, come on, man. And now, again, I'm not talking about all the sisters, but a lot of them are like this. They are on that evil, vindictive type of mindset. And they want to claim, oh, y'all want to go to white women because, not all brothers who cross the line or go over to the other side are dating white women. And the women that they're dating, that's the thing. The higher your self-esteem, the less you have to talk and be loud. Understand this, black women, and people who are loud in general. A lot of times they're just covering up for low self-esteem. And don't think of Muhammad Ali, because a lot of times, even when he was loud, he was scared as hell. They said his temperature, when he was going to fight Liston, his blood pressure was high as hell. The more you have to talk, that means the less confident you usually are. You try to get yourself confident. You should already be confident. You know what I'm saying? So the stronger you are, the less you have to talk, the less attitude, the less neck rolling drama. The higher your confidence, the less you have to do shit like that. The less you have to show out in front of stores. The less you have to steal and rob and do all these scams to try to get these vehicles, these Lexuses and these Denali's that you shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? The less you have to do that, the less you need name brand stuff to try to supplicate for your lack of self-esteem. Instead of you trying to raise your internal self-esteem, you trying to go get something external, and it's not working. You know what I'm saying? But I just thought I'd definitely hit that on the head because it's a misconception about what's weak and what's strong and what's alpha and what's beta. And let me tell you something, the brothers who like having women dominate them, or the brothers who like loud women, those are beta males. Those aren't alpha males. No alpha male wants a woman ruling over him. No alpha male wants a woman threatening him and wanting to be extra jealous over him. No alpha male wants that. Now you can have a lot of people that may talk, but no alpha male is going to want to be dominated by a woman. To say what you want, most females love to be dominated. Look at in the bedroom when you're with a female. Who's making most of the noise in the room? Who's saying, "Oh, daddy, slap me from the back"? "Oh, daddy, oh." Who's like that? Now, if you like that during sexual intercourse, then you have to like it. You have to. You more than likely, if you like that during intercourse, then you're gonna like that throughout the relationship as well, in every facet of the relationship. So you're gonna want to be feminine. You're gonna want to be feminine because that's in a woman's nature to be feminine. Just like it's in a man's nature to be masculine. So don't get confused by the role reversal that's happening by way of via Hollywood and some of this other shit. Females trying to be men is unnatural. And black women has fell the hardest for this shit. But I just thought I'd make this video, YouTube, and be sure to like and subscribe. And for all of you who felt me and you hear what I'm saying, I feel you. That's good. For all of you who I might have struck a nerve and you took offense to it, I'm glad. Bitch.